All right, welcome back to Genius. So we have actually taken a look at what React is all about. And as we were talking about that, we mentioned that React is used to build single page applications. So we need to understand what a single page application is, okay? And for us to really understand it, we need to compare it with multi-page applications. So first of all, let's start with multi-page applications to see we will use it to understand simple page applications. So basically, simple page applications were developed in order to solve the problems of multi-page applications. So first of all, let's take a look at multi-page applications and what they are. So multi-page application is a web application that consists of multiple pages. All right. Just like when you have a website, it will have about us, contact us, all those, a lot of pages, blog, product, it will have a lot of pages. Now, where each page is where each new page requires a full reload when the user navigates to it. Now, let me break this thing down. A multi-page web application, just from the name alone, you will know that it's multi-page. That means it is an application that consists of multiple pages. Now, for every page, for every new page that the user requests, there will be a full reload when the user navigates to it. To explain this thing, let me show you something. I have this code. All right, I have this code. This is, okay, let me go to the browser. So I have this simple page, all right? If I click on go to About Us page, watch this, take a look at this refresh button here. You're going to see that this thing is going to reload. Just watch it. If I click on it, but it's going to be fast, so pay close attention. You can see, before I was at the home page, now I am at the About Us page. If I click go back to home page, we'll go back to the home page, but watch this thing would, you will see the thing would refresh. Do you understand? So this is what we call, once I click on go to the next page, now assuming that this thing has more than 2 pages. So if I'm trying to navigate to the next page, all right, what happens is that if I click on go to About Us page, there will be a request to the server. There will be a request to the server telling the server, okay, I need the About Us page. The server will check, do I have the About Us page on the server? Yes, it has it. It will not give us response, and that response will be, the value of that response will be About Us page. So when the browser gets the response, it will reload. It will reload. That is what is happening here. Watch this page. Whenever I click go to About Us page, it will reload. All right, this thing will change. All right, it will reload. Okay, so that's what is happening. So when a user makes a request by clicking a link, all right, it will go to the server, fetch the particular page that the user is requesting, return it to the browser. The browser will now reload the whole page, the new page, okay? So that is how multi-page applications work. So for every new page, there is a full reload of when the user navigates to it. Just like when I click to go to About Us page, you saw that there is a full reload of the browser. The browser will reload. So multi-page applications are the traditional approach of web development. So this is the way web development this is the traditional approach, okay? When you see applications, ASP applications and Java applications, this is how they are developed. And that is why most times they are very, very slow. Okay, so traditionally, this is the way web development started, and they are commonly used for large-scale websites, enterprise applications, e-commerce applications, blogs, enterprise applications. They are well suited for multi-page applications. So, but most times these days, web applications are no longer that big. Okay, in case you have any lightweight web application, you don't need to use these multi-page applications because they have their drawbacks. And as much as they have their advantages, they also have disadvantages. And one of the disadvantages is that it slows down user experience. Okay, the application does not run fast, so it slows down user experience. That is why single-page applications were developed. So, but let's continue with multi-page application. So what are the key characteristics of multi-page applications? There are multiple HTML pages. There are multiple HTML pages, okay? So each page is a separate HTML file, okay? Just like if I show you now, the website I just ran now, it has index.html, it has about us, it has entities, it has this, it has that, a lot of pages here. So if I want to navigate to each of these pages, I will make a request, click the link, all right? The server will serve me, and once the browser gets what was served, it will reload. So there's always a reload for every page that we request. So every page has a single HTML file. Now there is always a full page reload whenever you navigate to different pages. So when you navigate between pages, there's always a full page reload. And the one I just showed you now is very fast. Imagine when you reload a page like that, and the page, when you go to the server, that HTML page is actually trying to get data from the database. And if it's taking time to load, if the data is big, is large, it will take more time to load. And at its load, it will just there be refreshing. Refreshing is refreshing, and the user will get annoyed. Okay, so it's not a very good user experience, especially when you're loading pages that are asking for data from the database, and the data is actually large. So it's not a good experience. Okay, so another advantage or characteristics of multi-page applications is that they are SEO friendly. What we mean by SEO friendly is that they are easily, I don't know how to explain this SEO friendly, but they are easily indexed by search engines. I don't know if you understand what I mean, but let me make it easier. Let me make it clearer. They are easily found on search engine. Let me put it that way. All right, they are easily found on search engine. So when you have a website that you created using a multi-page application architecture, all right, they are easily found in search engines. Okay, so they also have complex backend logic. That is why when you try to load a HTML page, when you try to load a page, okay, when you try to load a page that has complex data backend logic, trying to fetch data from the database, that will be too much. And with this, your page will be slow to load. So they often requires a robust backend to handle page rendering, database interaction, and authentication. So basically, we use frameworks for ASP.NET, Java Spring Boot, you understand, Laravel, Django. These are applications you use to build multi-page applications. These are frameworks you use to build multi-page applications. Okay, so now how does MPA work? MPA, how do they work? Now, when a user requests a page by clicking on the anchor tag, that link, go to About Us page, go to blog, go to here, go to there, okay? When a user clicks on the link, all right, the user is actually requesting a page. So if I click on About Us page, I'm requesting the About Us page. So when my request will go to the server, all right, the browser will send my request to the server, then the server will check, do I have this page that the user is requesting? If it has it, it will return it to the browser. But if it doesn't have it, it will return not found error, okay? So once the server processes the request, retrieves the necessary data, and renders the HTML page, then the browser will now reload and display the new page, okay? So this is how it works. The user requests a page by clicking a link. All right, once you click a link, the browser will say, okay, you want to send a request to the server. Then it will send a request to the server. The server will process the request, check what do you want. The server will process it and give you what you want, do the necessary data processing, and give you the HTML page. Then the browser will now reload it for you and display the new page. So this is how it works. Example is this. A user clicks on a product link in an e-commerce store. So when you click on a product link, you see a product on an e-commerce website. When you click on either the image or any link in the on the website, all right, the browser will make a request to maybe something like /product/123. Okay, so now this request will go to the server. The server will return the corresponding HTML page. Then the browser will fully reload the new content. Okay. So let me show you what the difference looks like. I have this watch this page. Of course, you have seen it. Whenever I click on go to About Us page, it always reloads. But this our website. Let me go to, this is our website. Let me go to home. So if I want to navigate from this home page now to dashboard, pay attention to this place again. It doesn't reload. Watch. It doesn't reload. Look at it. It did not reload. If I go back to home again, there is no reload. So this one, our website was created using single page application. Okay, so our website is a single page application. Meanwhile, this other one that I just have, there's not a single page application, it's a multi-page application. Okay, so advantages: number one, there is better SEO, search engine optimization. All right, the website will be optimized for search engines to actually show them to people who search for them. They are scalable. The scalability is right now. These multi-page applications are ideal for large applications with multiple sessions, blogs, admin, dashboard. But even at this now, single-page applications have also been improved, all right, to see get this, but don't worry, we'll get to that. They are easier initial load time. The first time you load a multi-page application, it doesn't take too much time to load compared to single-page applications. Single-page application, the first time you load a single-page application, it is not, it takes a lot of time to load the first time. But when you now start requesting for other pages, it will not take too long. Okay, so but don't worry, we'll come to that later. There is no reliance on JavaScript for core functionality. Multi-page applications do not rely on JavaScript to work very well. So even if you disable JavaScript, it will still work well. But for single-page application, they rely on JavaScript so much. Okay, so what are the disadvantages? Slower navigation. When a user wants to make a navigation to another page, it's always slower because there's always a reload of the page. Okay, higher server load. There's a whole lot of work on the server side. Okay, so it will take a lot of time to process the request by the server to give you what you requested for. There is a more complex development. Okay, managing state and UI consistency across pages can be challenging. So these are the disadvantages of multi-page applications. So let's go to single-page application. Moreover, that's the main reason why we are here, because we are talking about React. And React is one of the libraries that we use to create single-page applications. We also have Angular, we also have Vue.js, okay? So what is a single-page application? It is basically the opposite of the multi-page application. It's basically the opposite. So for a single-page application, it's a web application that loads a single HTML page. A single-page application has only one HTML page, and then it dynamically updates the content as the user interacts with it without requiring a full page. So let me show you something. There's only one HTML page on a single-page application. So let me show you. Okay, let me open the source code of our website and show you what I mean by that. We only have one HTML page here. Okay, and that HTML page, you can find it in this our layout. So this is where everything starts. In this whole application, we only have one HTML page here. Okay, we only have one HTML page. This is where every other thing is built upon. So as the user is interacting with the website, all these things are changing, especially this place that we have here. This is where everything will be changing. So the content of this website will be changing based on what we have here. So we only have one single HTML page. One single HTML page. I can also show you a very simple one that let me close all these guys. I will show you a very simple one. If I go to this my React folder, like I have here, if I open this, it has only one single HTML page. If you look at this whole work, this whole project, it has only one HTML page here. This is the only HTML page. Every other thing you are seeing here is a JavaScript. Every other thing you're seeing here is JavaScript. There's only one HTML page. So it is a single page application, only one HTML page. Meanwhile, multi-page application has multiple HTML pages. So this creates a smoother, more app-like user experience. So with this approach, it is easier for the user because it gives a better user experience. So how does it work? The initial load, all right, would actually take more time. Now, when you load, let's say our website, now when you load our website, all right, it will load the HTML file alongside JavaScript and CSS. Initially, it will load all the JavaScript. Okay, we'll talk about bundling. All right, don't worry, as we go on, I will be explaining deeper. There's something we call bundling. All the JavaScript will be bundled. Okay, so it will load. Okay, let me also show you something. I hope I will not confuse you, but try to understand what I'm trying to show you here. So this is our home page. If I go to inspect, let's inspect the network. Let's go to network tab. Okay, this is our network. So what I'm going to do is that I'm going to empty cache and hard reload. Okay, if I click on, all you have to do is to right click and you will have this option. So click on empty the cache and reload. So let's see what, let me show you what we are making. We are going to make a request to the server. And in this network tab, that is where you see all the whole things that you got from the server. So if I click on empty cache, so you can see, these are the things we got. And I just want to show you that they are basically JavaScript files. I only ask for the home page, but you can see that these are the types of, this is the type. All these things are the things we got, and these are their types. This first one is the document, which is the first one, HTML page that we got. This one is font, this one is CSS, this one is CSS. Look at every other one here are JavaScript files. And they come in chunks. There are small JavaScript that come in chunks. And look at them. A lot of JavaScript was loaded here. And it took 9.42 seconds to load. 9.42 seconds to load this home page. It took a longer time. The first time you load a single page application, it will take a longer time because it's going to load almost everything that it needs to work with. So, but look at it, the second time, if I click on start for free, it will take us to start for free page. So if I click on it, let's watch the load time. Okay. So it still gave us, okay, so let me reload it. You see, the load time this time around is 2.89, which is amazing. It is very okay. Anything less than 4 seconds is very good. The application is a very fast application. So you can see, because when I refreshed, all these things that was required to load this particular page, they are already available on the browser. So on the browser cache. So the browser will now fetch them from the cache. They will not go to the browser will not go to the server anymore. Okay, so I hope I did not confuse you. But what I'm trying to show you here is that whenever you load the first page of a single page application, it will load all the whole files that it needs to work with. So the initial load will be, it will take a longer time. You see, the first one took 9-point-something seconds, but subsequently it was 2 seconds. So dynamic updates. When a user navigates or interacts, JavaScript those JavaScript that were loaded, they will not dynamically update the page without going to the server. So when the user clicks a button, do anything interactive on the page, just like I clicked on start for free button, it took us to the free courses page. Now it took a lesser time to load. So these are the things we do with React, Vue, or Angular. So initial load, the browser will load the HTML and the JavaScript and the CSS. Then when you now make some updates do some interaction with the page, React will now take over, update everything with the JavaScript it has. API communication. So as single page applications, they use Ajax or Fetch API. They use the Ajax API or the Fetch API to request and send data to the server, often in JSON format. So when you're using a single page application, if you want to fetch a user's details, or if you want to check if a user is actually let's say you want to log in, you will go to the server. So you will be using something like Ajax, or you'll be using the Fetch API to make a request to the server and receive data from the server. Okay. Then there's something we call client-side routing. Instead of the traditional navigation, when you click a link, it will take you to the server. That is how multi-page applications work. For single-page application, the routing is done by React router. Okay. So remember, I told you that React router is one of the ecosystem of React. So it handles routing. So this routing is called client-side routing. It is not server-side. Multi-page application use server-side routing because when you make a request of a page, they will go to the server and bring you the page. But for client-side routing, the request does not go to the server. React router will handle it for React. Okay, so it is called client-side routing. So this is how it works: initial loading, data, dynamic updates, API communication, and client-side routing. Okay, so first of all, how does it work? Single-page application, they rely heavily on JavaScript to dynamically update the UI. They cannot do without JavaScript and interact with the back end. So they use JavaScript a lot. So this is the way. The first step we are going to take a look at is the initial page load. You saw when I reloaded our website, the browser first of all will load a minimal HTML, CSS, and JavaScript bundle. I showed you all those JavaScript bundles that came from the first request I made. All those JavaScript came along. So then JavaScript framework like React will now take over and start rendering the UI. When you load the first page, when you load the website for the first time, the browser will load everything that is needed, the HTML, the CSS, or the JavaScript bundle will load it. Then React will now take over to render the UI. User interaction, when clicking on a link or button triggers JavaScript code instead of making a new request to the server. So this is client side. Everything now is client side. You don't need to go to the server anymore. If you click on a button, React will handle that request on the server side, on the client side, not on the server side. So we no longer go to the server anymore. JavaScript framework dynamically update the content without a full reload. Okay, so that's how it works. Initial page, user interaction, initial page will be done by the initial page load will be done by the browser. Then once the page is loaded, JavaScript framework like React will now take over and render the UI. When the user clicks a button or do any interaction with your page, React will take control, will take charge and handle everything. Okay. When you want to fetch data from APIs, as single page applications communicate with the backend using Ajax, Fetch API, or GraphQL. All right. But basically, in this our course, we'll be using the Fetch API or we'll be using Axios. When we get there, I will let you know. So data will be retrieved in JSON format and used to update the page dynamically. So you fetch data using the Ajax or Fetch API or GraphQL, and data will be received in JSON format, not in HTML. Client-side routing, okay. Single page application use JavaScript-based routing, like the React router. Then the URL changes, but the browser does not reload the page. I have shown you this already and you've seen it. Okay, so but in case you don't understand any of these things, please reach out to us. Okay, all right. So what are the benefits of single page application? There are single page applications are always fast and very responsive. You can see what I showed you when I was navigating to the free course page. It only took 2 seconds to load. Every user will like that. Not it will take more than 1 minute to load a page. No. So single page applications are fast and responsive. They provide better user experience to users. Okay. They are efficient server load. Okay. They provide the less bandwidth usage since only necessary data is fetched. All right. Efficient server load, easier front-end development. Okay. So when you're working with when you're developing the front end of an application, it's easier. Okay. So what are the drawbacks? SEO challenge, although Next.js has solved this problem. Okay. We also have a course on Next.js. With Next.js, you can build a full stack application with Next.js, both front end and back end. You can build a full stack application. So check out for that course. We also have a Next.js application. So after taking this course, make sure you take the Next.js course. Initial load time. The first time you load a single page application, it will always be slow. You saw it when I loaded the first time, it was 9 seconds, which is bad. But because of subsequent loading, subsequent requests will not take that long. So that is why it's actually a good one. Okay. So security risk. They are more exposed to cross-site scripting attacks because everything is JavaScript. But when you use frameworks like Next.js, there's a way you actually protect your website, okay? Increase browser memory usage. Now, your browser memory usage will be high because we are downloading all those JavaScripts. So it is actually going to be on the client's browser. So the heavy work is done on the client's device, whether their phone or their computers. So how do you optimize a single page application for performance and SEO? You can improve with several techniques. The first one, performance optimization. You can do code splitting. Only load necessary JavaScript tools using Webpack or Vite. Don't worry, we're also going to talk about Webpack. Okay. So when you use Next.js to create your React application, Next.js does all these things for you. Lazy loading. Okay, these are the techniques you can use to increase the performance of your application. Components are loaded. Components and images are loaded only when they are needed. Server-side rendering. Okay, so these are the techniques you can use to improve performance of your single-page application. So when you use frameworks like Next.js, they pre-render pages. Okay, this will be discussed in our Next.js class. All right. Caching and CDN. You store access closer to users to improve load time. Basically, your JavaScript does this for you. Okay, so how do you improve your SEO? Pre-rendering, generating static HTML snapshot for search engines. Next.js does this for you too. Okay, using Next.js, okay, these are ways you can actually improve your SEO optimization. Optimize the meta tags. Next.js will help you do all these things. Okay, so when do you use single-page application versus multi-page application? When you need to build a fast and interactive web application, you use single-page application. When the app relies heavily on real-time updates, something like chat applications. When you have a chat application, you should be using single-page application. When the user is going to be staying long on your website, just like now on our website, a student will be taking a class, spending at least 30 minutes on the website. So that is why we chose to use single-page application. When do you choose multi-page application? When SEO is critical. But even at that, even if we use single-page application with Next.js, we can also achieve SEO. Okay? When you need to support older browsers with limited JavaScript capabilities, when the application has many independent pages with different functionalities. So these are the reasons why you might choose MPA. All right? So what are the examples of single-page applications? Gmail is a single-page application. Facebook, Twitter. Moreover, Facebook was not a single-page application before they started using React. So, and that was when they now created React. Twitter, Trello, Netflix. All right? So let's take a look at some differences. The features, when it comes to page load, okay, multi-page application will do a full reload, but single-page application will not do full reload. When it comes to speed, multi-page applications are slower, single-page applications are faster. When it comes to SEO, multi-page applications are better, but these days, if you use single-page application with Next.js, you can actually achieve the same result. For complexity, multi-page applications are more back-end heavy, single-page applications are more front-end heavy. Server load. Server load is higher for multi-page applications. Server load is lower for single-page application. So when to use multi-page applications, heavy websites, e-commerce platforms, admin dashboards, legacy applications, okay? But basically, you can see, if you want to build any web application, a single-page application is just the best for you. They make development easier, especially when you're using Next.js. So make sure after taking this class, you also take the Next.js class. So in conclusion, these are MPAs are still widely used, especially for SEO-driven website and content-heavy applications. SPAs offer a smoother experience. MPAs provide better scalability and simpler backend control. Choosing between MPAs and SPA depend on your project need, performance goals, and SEO requirements. So thank you very much. I hope you really understand the difference between multi-page application and single-page application. So I will see you in the next section.